It's the Soul Fantasy Show live for May 9th, 2021. Going over the top picks, plays, and studs for Draftkings and Fanduel. If you already haven't, please subscribe to this channel. Right on top, we got the Soul Stud of the Day, Luka Doncic. He's always on a tear. He didn't do too great last game, but he's going to bounce back. Definitely going to bounce back. 53, 36. Plus minus of 179. All right, here's some of his stats. Okay. Turnover percentage 15%, so he's rock solid today. Second up is a sleeper, Tony Bradley. He's projected to do well today. From OKC. 3,000, All right, as always, we got Vuk. He's 10,006 today. Opponent rank 16, 18, getting 1.48 fantasy points per minute. He should be getting around 50 fantasy points, but he is 10.6. He's a little high, but should be all right for you. Then coming up next, we have Cody Zeller. 17, 22, 24. Not too good, but he's 3,700. You can get close. He's 5 times value. Naz Reid, another 5 times value. 14, 30, 30. He had two 30 burgers. 3,800. If he gets 30, that's going to put you'll be rock solid. Gabriel Deck, 4,200. D'Angelo Russell, he did have a 50 2 games ago, and he is 7,600. So for 7,600, you get 50 out of them. You're rock solid. Rock solid. Chris Paul, LaMelo Ball, Jay Crowder, Drummond, Ingram. These are some fine options here. Jay Crowder, he had a 30 last time for 4,000. That's pretty good for 40. You can throw him in there. Chris Paul's a little expensive. He's damn near 8K. LaMelo Ball, 8,600. I told you to play him last time. He had a 46, which is what I expected, and that was good if you played him. He has an easy matchup today. He's getting 1.3 fantasy points per minute, so that's pretty good. Drummond, Ingram. All right, so we're going to go over some of the sleepers today. The Soul Sleeper of the Day. I'm going to go with Naz Reid. I really like these 229s that he had there. And he is in the high 20s his last 2 against Orlando. Gabriel Deck. He is on deck today to get a 27. Thomas. Thad Young. Ricky Rubio. All right. We have Markkanen is a little cold. He had that 11 last time. Expect him to bounce back and have a much better game. For 4,000, he could get 20 to 30 fantasy points, so you can slate him in there if you can for a 4K range. Rubio's only 5,200. I like that price, especially if he gets. Look at that. He had a 43. He had a 0, which means he probably didn't play, and he had a 43. And his very last game, he had a 36. So he's doing. That's a pretty good double combination with a 30 position ranking matchup. He's projected to get 25, so for 52, he's going to probably hit 5 times value, so that's pretty good. These are the sleepers today. Moses Brown, Vanderbilt. Can throw Payne in there. Brunson. Marcus Gasol I always like throwing in. For 20 fantasy points, we usually like to get around 30, but that's just for average lineups. You do need to get these low-end guys in there to get, if they can get 20 and you're only paying 3,400, that is really solid. All right, so here's some more of the sleepers today. Dwight Powell, DFS, Mr. Bacon. All right. This man, for 5,800 out of 40 last time, chalk him in there. Wagner could pay off, possibly. All right, so here are some of the good plays today. Luka, Vuk, Zeller. Again, Zeller and Nas. Throw them guys in there. They're worth playing. Ball, I'd pay for his salary. He might not get. He almost got 50 fantasy points the other night. Thomas, there's Devin Booker for 8,400. He didn't do too good last time, so you have to hope he bounces back. These are the 3 top studs today: Russell, Vuk, and the Soul stud of the day, Luka Doncic. Let's get them in there. All right, let's go and do some lineups. Oh, here's some main slate lineups for you. Gabriel Deck found his way on deck. He is on deck. He's on deck. We have Edwards, Mr. Deck. If you don't want to play Deck, you could put... I'd probably just play Deck for that. Tucker, he's questionable. He's only a 19 on there. All right, so we got... I didn't speak about... We got Terry Rozier, 8,100. So if I want to try to squeeze Luka in, you probably would have to fade Booker out. Go down and look for somebody cheap in the utility spot. I would probably go Osman. He's doing pretty good. And then I'll probably not put him in there, and I would probably look for somebody. You could put Torrey Craig, but if you want to spend a little bit more, you might want to go with... There's Kevin Love. He's only 6,400. That's pretty cheap for him. That's like almost... That's a very, very low price. So now you're off. You don't want to really take your main stud out, but you have 2 of the studs. So if you could downgrade, you could put Pope in. Pope. Then you would have to probably get rid of him. James Johnson. So now you just get rid of Edwards and you put in probably DSF. Now you have 1,000 to spend on somebody. So you can probably get rid of Powell. Whoops. And just put Wagner in. That's probably what you would do there. So this is a nice little constructed lineup. Gabriel Deck. There's some lineups they're making for you. Play around with them. Put some of the guys you've seen that are highlighted in the video in there. Alright, those are the main lineups, and here's the FanDuel main lineups. Now, you don't have to spend up all the money. You might want to leave money on the table, but if you want to spend up, you can. You do have to have original lineups to win, but that doesn't mean leaving a 5,000 on the table. That doesn't necessarily mean that. Like, this is leaving 500 on the table. So, all right. So let's go back to DraftKings and we'll go these singles. Let's look at the teams. Singles are the best. All right. This is Miami, Boston. So we got Kemba Walker. You could go Tatum there in that spot. I probably wouldn't put Fournier in the captain spot. If I was, I would probably put Dragic or Tatum in the captain spot. I like putting, but then you do have to find a value. I would probably keep Butler in there. Butler can go in the captain spot. Duncan Robinson is pretty cheap today. 4,600 showdown. So I'll just get rid of him. And I'd probably put somebody like Ariza in there, something like that. New York, a pretty bad game. New York's awful. All they have is Randall. I probably wouldn't put Randall in the captain spot. I'd definitely put Kawhi in there. Marcus Cousins hasn't been too good. I'd put Reggie Jackson. Then you can go Zubiak. Rondo isn't necessarily playing well, but you don't have to put many New York players in when you're playing Showdown. I'd probably put Kennard, George. You can do this. You can play one New York guy, and you can do a 5-1 here. For this, if they have it on there, this pathetic game, they might not even have Showdown available for it. So, all right. Here's some more of these. All right. All right, so this is Chicago, Detroit. All right, let's look here. NBA. So, Sunday they'll have Miami, Boston. They do have New York. They do have New York. So, let me try that, like what I said. If I have Randall's the most expensive player because New York doesn't have anybody. That he's not right for the captain spot. Kawhi Leonard, the reason why he hasn't been like performing too well in fantasy. He's still getting 16 points, 5 rebounds, 13, 3, 15, 8. Last week, when he's a little bit more expensive today. He's getting the minutes. He's playing mostly all the games. He just isn't getting what we want. George is above him, which is rare. Usually you see George below Leonard, but today you see him above. I wouldn't put Rose in the captain spot. I would go there. All right. I probably would play Randall, George, Rose. Then you go down here, Zubiak. Now, we can't afford that, so definitely would probably just get rid of Rose because you don't have to. You have to find a cheaper. You have 4, so let's find. I like Kennard. He's 4,200. Yogi Ferrell. You could throw him in for 1,000, and when he was getting minutes, it doesn't look like he's getting minutes anymore. But when he was getting in the 20s. But since they cut his minutes back, you probably wouldn't want to play him. So maybe you just want to go in the Beverly direction, even though his minutes are lower than they were before. I'll still go there because then you can throw Norland's Noel in. There you go. And just do something like that. It's the Soul Fantasy Show. Soul Fan Show.